Sheep Rampage got on a call and talked about Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy, etc. for over 2 hours. Make sure to support Sheep down below in the description, and also, if you're new here, support by subscribing to the channel. Thank you! Now, enjoy 2 hours of Nized Sheep. Alright, so, Short Sheep. So, first question.
That's not how we're starting this.
Alright.
Sheep Rampage, or Sheep.
Okay, everyone knows their true name. Alright, so first question. Alright, was this chapter worth the almost 2-year wait from beginning to end? In your 100% honest opinion.
Okay. It was by far the best chapter 3, that we've gotten, and to be honest, like, if you combine, like, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Project, it was probably, like, that is probably better than all 3 of them combined. But in terms of waiting 2 years, considering the fact that we know now the development time was, what, 8 months?
Yeah, since last May.
Yeah, was it worth it? Yes, because, like, the way they've grown, in terms of quality was, like, insane. But I'm hoping with Chapter 4 and Chapter 5, or however long they go, that they can spend more than 8 months. Because imagine what the game would have looked like if instead of doing Project Playtime and then spending 8 months on it, if they just spent the whole 2 years. Imagine the product we'd have now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd say from beginning to end, it was definitely worth the wait. I would say, though, I'd like to see what would happen if they just spent, like those multiple years just working on one big chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I enjoyed it. I don't really have any complaints. And I'm seeing the reception of the chapter has been, like, really good. Like, people who don't like Poppy, just, like, at being like, all right, I'll admit it, this is good. I've seen tier lists. They're putting it in S tier. And I definitely agree. In terms of mascot horror, that Chapter 3 is insane.
Definitely. It, like, slaps the faces of all other mascot horror. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you create an actual fun and terrifying little chapter. It's not even a full game. It's just a little chapter, and you see how much AAA graphics and gameplay looks. Like,
yeah, well, what like makes this chapter borderline revolutionary is just how, like, scary it is, or, like, the boundaries it sort of expands, because we know Bendy the Cage is also releasing somewhat soon, probably within the next year, and that's supposed to be, like, the Bendy devs sort of dropping everything and making something scary that might not appeal to as many people. So I feel like Chapter 3's could at least like, just raise the horror levels, especially if Bendy the Cage is received well. Chapter 3's already received well. I'd like to see Five Nights at Freddy's do it, honestly. Like, raise the horror.
Oh, definitely. Like, Help Wanted 2 didn't help, but, like, still, even Help Wanted in general is still pretty not scary per se, but definitely off-putting. All because it's just VR, and with yeah.
No, I totally agree. The VR games are scary. I just mean, like Security Breach wasn't really all that scary, and I think everyone said that a million times.
Yeah, I think Ruin did it better than Security Breach
for sure. Oh, for sure. Ruin was a better game, though. Ruin was, I think Ruin was sort of objectively like higher quality. I liked it a lot more. I feel like every part of it was better.
Yeah, I agree.
It was straightforward.
Yeah, it's definitely better in the horror section. I just love Security Breach in general. So, because I'm a big sucker.
Oh yeah, you're a Security Breach fan?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for retro stuff and all the neon lights and everything. So, Ruin obviously better for horror, but for more iconic, I would say Security Breach, the base game, is better.
Well, it's much bigger too.
Yeah,
there's more to do.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even gotten, like, every ending. I really only played through it a couple times. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe that's why I don't enjoy it that much.
Yeah, go play it again.
Could be clouded by the hate.
I think I replayed Security Breach like 6 times just because for all the endings.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Back when I had a lot of time.
Well, I mean, if you enjoyed the game, I don't see why not. There were there were ideas in Security Breach that were really good. I still like the endoskeleton area, which is sort of similar
That's
to
the part I didn't like.
Chapter 3's. You didn't like it?
No, I wasn't a fan. Oh, I'm not a fan of Weeping Angel mechanics. So which is ironic because Miss Delight's section is my favorite part of Chapter 3. So it's like I even told Amber like the irony, like she knew I hated the Weeping Angel stuff. Then now it's just like one of my favorite parts of the whole game. I just did it funny.
Well, that I don't know that part I found like the most genuinely scary part of the entire game. What was that one area? I don't mean to go off on like a crazy tangent about Security Breach, but what was that one area that Mazer size? The Mazer size puzzle.
Oh, the one with the one with the freaking doors, the puzzle doors.
Yes,
I hated that part.
I don't know how to beat it.
No,
I've beaten the game. I don't know how to beat it. I watched a YouTube video.
Me too. And nobody likes.
And
they
changed the combo with patches.
They changed it, but it's still bad. That's like the most annoying part of the game.
That part. That part was very frustrating.
Every game has an annoying part. Surprisingly, Chapter 3 didn't have many annoying parts per se, for me personally.
There wasn't anything that annoyed you?
I think, well, from the top of my head, I'm not sure. That was actually a question I had. Want to see. Well, I'm going to go back to that part later on. But the second question actually was, what part of this chapter gave you the most chills or creeped you out the most?
I originally because I thought about this before, but I originally was going to say hands down the Huggy Nightmare part, because that part is just like that part creeped me out the most in my first playthrough. But after like watching some videos and looking deeper into the chapter, honestly, I think like the darkest and creepiest part was the Dog Day death scene. Because like there's so much around it. There was so much building up to it compared to the nightmare sequence that just kind of happened when you ran into the gas. The Dog Day thing, I remember when the game first came out, a lot of people were complaining that they didn't like the Playhouse area, and it's not like the most gameplay filled area at all, but the whole the mini smiling critters and getting to see Catnap's cage like all scratched up, and the Catnap VHS tape and the candles everywhere. I don't know. That
part seemed more with more character to it, you know.
Yeah, it was really good.
It had more life than, throughout the whole chapter. That whole section, yeah, I do agree.
And the build up for it too, like before the chapter came out, we got that one image that said this is what he does to heretics, and then showed Dog Day. But I had no idea what that image was at the time, but it like creeped me out, and it already set the tone that area was going to be super important.
Yeah, definitely.
And also just like the intensity of it, honestly. Seeing Dog Day just like missing his legs entirely.
And the voice actor too, he did a great job.
Yeah, it was a really creepy scene.
Oh man. I hope they actually continue that in future chapters.
Oh, I'm sure they will. It was received super well.
Yeah, that was my hopes, or one of my hopes for Poppy Playtime now. More darker turns, more darker tones.
I don't know if it'll go much darker, because I know in the lead up to Chapter 3 in development, they said that they had to like tone certain things back to avoid a mature rating. So I feel like this is kind of the best we're going to get. Because then you sort of run into the problem of people getting demonetized, also like content creators, and they don't want their game to be mature. They don't want to close off the audience.
True.
So I don't know, what do you think it was that they cut? Did they ever say?
I don't. Well, from what they said, I'm not sure if they said anything, but taking a look at the concept art and behind the scenes that I covered and saw, there was so much cut stuff that they had to change and not go forward with. So, for example,
really?
Catnap's demon form, the one that we fight off in the end, That
Hmm.
one was originally or conceptually going to have bodies up against his skin. So you have to
Oh, I've
see,
seen that
yeah,
one.
that one. So they had to cut back from that type of horror, sadly. And there was another
Hmm.
one. What was it? That one was the first one with Catnap. Uh,
Hmm. I haven't seen the behind the scenes yet because I'm waiting to organize all of it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's so much stuff that they cut, unfortunately. But
Hmm.
from what we got for I believe what's the rating for this series, like PG-13, PG-14?
Uh,
I'm not sure what they said.
I don't, I don't know how they rate games, to be honest, because is PG not a movie term?
Yeah, PG is, yeah, for movies.
So I have no idea how they rate. Oh, it's like it's teen. I think it's
Oh,
T
teen.
teen.
Okay.
I would imagine it's probably that,
Yeah, it's teen.
or it's not ranked at all. I think it's sort of just like a because that is an official rating, right? I don't think these games are like actually ranked. I think it's sort of just they establish it
Hmm.
themselves, or the fans establish it themselves. I don't think it was ever mentioned anywhere like what the actual
I think
audience
just judging
was.
from the trailers, I think people already knew it was gonna be way different.
Hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they ever said, "Oh no, this is teen, PG-13" or anything. I don't think they said anything.
They did say they were avoiding the mature rating, specifically. There were definitely parts though, especially the dog day, and the part where you're just hearing the little tapes talking about the dismembered child's body, like that were like,
Oh yeah,
okay, you're this
that
is getting
was
really
that
close.
gave me the chills for sure.
Yeah, I heard that and I was like, what in the world? I was worried,
Is this even Poppy
because I
playtime?
yeah, exactly. I made a video explaining all the VHS tapes, and I actually censored the one part where they said a young boy, and I wanted to censor it because I was like, is this even like is this something you can even upload to YouTube, talking about like something so like such a specific situation when it comes to children, because I know
Yeah.
YouTube is really specific about that stuff. So I had to censor it.
Oh wow.
I was worried about it. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody got demonetized for that kind of stuff. I haven't seen it anywhere, but
I don't think
it
they
was to that level.
yeah, I don't think they censor or demonetize audio like or
Hmm.
text. I think they just censor visually. So if there's already any visual aid of that, I think they will demonetize or age restrict.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it was still it's so dark.
Mhm. Like they for the creepiness and horror aspect for this chapter, I say like they nailed it. They really
Mm.
did put more horror movie like like Blumhouse horror stuff in here, which is very
Uh
good.
huh.
Which I'm a big fan of. So like just seeing all the little
Well,
stuff, little things. I was like, thank you, Mob. That was great.
uh, what one of the biggest strengths of the chapter was that it was it felt like an expanded version of chapter 1 instead of chapter 2, to be honest. Chapter 2 was way more like split, just like snappy, just like constantly throwing things in your face. Kissy Missy's there, then you push the cart, and then you move on to the next character, and then Mommy Longlegs comes there. It's very like you're constantly doing things, and it doesn't leave much room for horror like what we saw in chapter 1. And chapter 3 was
No,
just like a more dialed up version of that. I feel like I think they did it on
yeah,
purpose too.
I feel like this one they dumped more lore than the previous two chapters, especially with Ollie.
So much
Like
more.
they like
So
there's
much
so much
more.
dialogue in this one.
Yeah, I still haven't exactly figured out what in the world is going on, but there are a lot of things that are solved with the story. That the Hour of Joy is pretty much completely explained thanks to the new CG5 music video. We
Mm-hmm.
finally get to see like a child's perspective. I'm still wanting to talk all about that in its own video because it deserves its own video. It's
Yeah.
they're like they're expanding the lore a lot through like music now. I know they're wanting to do books, which I don't know. There was a recent game theory video talking about how annoying it is to have lore hidden in things like books, and I agree,
Yeah.
but I'm still excited. Maybe it's
Yeah, of
not the
course.
best like long term for the franchise. And I hope they don't do it too much. Like I hope this is just sort of like a one time thing. They don't start releasing 20 novels.
20 books like Five Nights at
Um
Freddy's.
yeah, because I don't read the Five Nights at Freddy's books. And then
Oh yeah.
also there was like that whole thing about whether or not they were even canon. So that stuff I literally just purely stay away from the books. Don't read them. Don't pay attention to them, and I don't want that to happen to Poppy. So I hope they just avoid it. I mean,
Same.
I'll take one.
One. Just a one.
Mhm.
Just to see how it goes. And speaking of like non-canon, I don't think the CG5 video is canon or not. I don't think it is.
It is
Well,
not
from like what
the
we see,
animation.
yeah, from what we see, it's not canon. But like what the song
What
is
it's
about,
about is
yeah, it's
canon.
canon. It's about the Hour of Joy, so yes, it's canon. But the video
Yeah.
itself, it's not.
No, yeah, it's not like a showcase of the actual events. It's like a retelling of it, but it's the lyrics that tell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's not fully canon. Because I think there's even a scene in it where like Kissy and Huggy are hanging out after the factory closed,
Oh
which just
yeah,
doesn't
I
really
saw
make
that.
much sense. Yeah, so I know it's not fully canon, but there are definitely parts of it that are like, okay, this raises some questions. Like a lot of it, I'm not gonna go too in depth on it because I still don't have my thoughts fully collected on it. But there are some parts in there that are like, okay, they're intentionally trying to hint at least something here. Um so that's also another example of them putting lore in
Yeah,
just
maybe.
a ton of places. A lot more lore. I like it.
And speaking of like the theories that you mentioned like a few minutes ago, did
Mm.
any of our predictions, like our like us fans and content creators, predictions or theories, turn out to be true with this chapter?
Um. So I would say most of like the good stuff. I'd say, we got wrong, or I personally got wrong. Like what catnap was. Um. What like play care was going to look like was also kind of confusing because in the second teaser trailer it just was like a random office building. So it seems like they were pacing the chapter completely differently at that time because the entrance was just supposed to be right there.
Oh
Um
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
The play
yeah,
care sign.
I assumed play care was just going to be like much smaller and that we were going to like completely move past it. I thought it was just going to be a smaller part of the chapter. In terms of things that were right, I would say that the whole religion theory thing, um most people, I think myself included, were sort of on the nose with, um like the whole idea of the prototype somehow being involved, like when it said the original saved us or whatever. um
Mm.
so I think the religion or cult thing was probably like the easiest thing to predict, and was the
Especially
thing
after that
most
one
people got.
teaser,
The heretics one.
that one and like the one where we
um
saw Catnap in the Home Sweet Home hallways. Well, the one with the
oh, you
candles.
mean the trailer? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I'm trying to think if there was anything like, I had mentioned, just like on a whim in like my last video before chapter 3 came out, uh that a lot of people were predicting, who we know now to be Miss Delight was going to be like a doll, but I didn't really have that much evidence for it outside of like other people were claiming it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We both
so
thought it was gonna be like a
yeah,
bird.
yeah, because what is the deal with the bird? Like it's not like it was like
It's kind of
that
random.
crazy of a theory. It's so random.
Yeah, yeah. I remember back then, people thought Catnap was gonna be like a big dragon with four heads type of monster,
I thought it'd transform or
or
something.
like a shapeshifter.
Not like a shapeshifter exactly, but like whenever we got the "this is what he does to heretics" thing, we saw multiple faces, and we didn't know the smiling critters existed at that point. So
Nope.
I assumed, oh, there's multiple catnaps.
Mm,
Um,
I got
so
you.
I was just all over the place with my theories. I made a lot of theories. I'm sure if I were to go digging, there'd be like one like cool thing I got right. But I feel like for the most part, in terms of specifics, I ended up getting a lot wrong. Which is expected because they don't want to reveal too
But
much.
that's the
But
beauty of
I
it.
think, yeah, I think I'm happy with the theories I came up with in terms of like the plot. But when it comes to like character predictions and everything, it's just completely off. Which makes it more enjoyable, honestly. The hour of joy. That's one thing that um I think most people started to catch on to it over time if you were like more involved with like the ARGs and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but the hour of joy um made a decent amount of sense. I don't know if they've ever fully explained like Boxy Boo's story, but him and the Bigger
No.
Bodies Initiative before then was a little bit more confusing, but we know a little bit more now about why it exists and that like the prototype was kind of the good guy and he organized it. So I guess that is stuff that was predicted before the chapter
Mm-hmm.
came out. But yeah, nothing too major to be honest. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
see what happens with chapter 4. I'd like to be more accurate.
Yeah, and even then, it's still, fun to predict and
It's just fun.
theorize. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just fun. It's all just for fun, nothing serious. Yeah, and they also did a good job hiding the smiling critters the whole time. Like we knew nothing
Yeah.
about them. They did a great job hiding them, especially until they posted that poster and Destroy a Toy in Project. That was just the first little hint, and we didn't know anything about it.
That was so cool. That was such a cool era of Poppy playtime. Like just waiting for chapter 3 and then suddenly
Yeah, it was
we
like a
get that
shadow drop, right?
poster.
It was like a shadow drop, no announcement or anything. It was just there. Like, oh look, a new
Yeah,
poster.
and it was a poster in game. That wasn't like something they made for project. They like put it in there
Mm-hmm.
from the game. So it was like a really weird choice. And then there was I still never figured out and they never fully explained what happened because I'm sure a lot of stuff didn't go to plan or whatever, but there was like the sticky notes that were talking about checking the Boxy project. Like there was one that said like check diagram in the theater or something, and then if you went to the theater there was like a diagram that had some weird escape plan.
Mm.
I didn't even remember this stuff until I was watching through my old videos, but there was all those things. And then there was one post-it note that gave a date, and on that date they teased the ARG that didn't come for months later.
Oh
But
really?
that was so
Hmm.
weird. There were post-it notes that were like super important, but most of them never got explained.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I don't think anybody noticed the Smiling Critters poster until like a few weeks later.
Yeah, well, um, I saw there were definitely some people noticing. But it wasn't like it wasn't like a crazy big deal because it wasn't project. And also it was the when they showcased the poster, I don't want to describe too many visuals because not everybody will remember, but there was a circle around the poster with like some creature with eyes too that was also not explained. Um and the first release date we ever got for relating to chapter 3 was in December of 2022
Uh-huh.
when there was there was a Daddy Longlegs poster in Project Playtime that said like RSVP by like July 25th or something. Or it wasn't that date. But it was something similar. And then on that date, literally half a year later, they dropped some kind of teaser. So
Hmm.
that was really weird. The promo they did for it was really weird with Project, but it was a really fun time.
Mm-hmm. So it says like the project is more important than people take it for, especially with
Mm.
if they are gonna update it one day with a new map or whatever. We're gonna have to be dissecting the whole thing again, the whole map.
Yeah, they need to do that again. Like put teasers in Project. I feel like that's better. Like halfway through that, they just started dropping teasers in the Discord server. Imagine how cool it would be if they just put it in Project. Um, or
Like they
what do
announced
you
like,
think?
oh, go check this map. Go check for something on this map, you know. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
for us to get to play on it and to see, to search for the lore, you know.
Yeah,
Just have
or
activity.
they should have put the chapter 3 ARG website into the screening room. That would have been sick.
Mm.
And then they could have put the images in there or whatever. And that actually reminds me, why were we given the phone in Project? I assume in retrospect it was like we would have gotten some kind of call from Ollie as like a teaser, but we never got anything. Are we gonna get something in the future? I don't know.
I think now that we know it's Ollie, not sure. I think you just put the phone there just for chapter 3, just to tease chapter 3.
It said you'll receive a call.
But technically we did in chapter 3, but we don't know. But it was just weird for them to add the phone out of nowhere with no explanation. But I think that was just to set up for chapter 3. Personally, I don't think it will be something for Project. We don't know yet.
You could pick the phone up though.
Yeah, that's why. I don't think they're gonna add anything anytime soon, but I do hope.
We'll see with Phase 4. I mean,
I think for Phase 4 they're gonna add something with Ollie in there.
I hope, because that was like, you know, it's cool to play the new Project seasons, but I liked back in like Phase 2 where there was, you know, the post-it notes and the Smiling Critters poster and a new VHS tape and all that cool stuff to theorize about on top of it. It puts so much more attention on that game for a little while.
Oh, definitely, man. Every day, I even say in my videos, we miss Project, man. Like, please bring it back. We just want lobbies, personally, like a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do miss. I used to play that game a decent amount. I haven't played it in months.
And now for the 4th question, actually, did you enjoy Mr. Light's section, like the whole segment?
I think everyone enjoyed that section. I know you did some speed runs of it. I did.
Yeah, I
too.
did. I did one earlier today with they added.
Oh really?
They added the category in the speedrun website. They added a whole section.
Actually?
They added it.
Oh shoot!
That's
actually cool.
They also put my name on there. It says inspired by Nized.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the people who are friends with the mods, and they were like telling me, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put this." Originally the speedrun was gonna be as soon as you power on the machine, right? That was originally going to be the actual speedrun, but now it's as soon as you move the camera in the school. So as soon as you start in the school, that's when the speedrun starts. I don't know why they made it like that.
Oh, not just the chase scene,
no,
the school?
The whole school. I don't know why they made it like that, but unfortunately it's like that now.
Make it a little bit longer, probably.
Yeah.
Or just like organize it.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool though.
It can still be beaten within 3 minutes. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
are there any?
My personal time right now, it's 2 minutes and 53 seconds, but the number 1 is 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So by 5 or 6 seconds.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to look into that. But the section itself is I love it. I think it's
great.
Like one of their better, at least the old version. I feel like they took a step back with the nerf.
I hated that nerf, man.
Because I love the way the Weeping Angel works, where you know you're trying to do things while also she's chasing you and everything. But in the original version, for those who don't know, she would not look at you, or if you looked at her, she would not move when the lights were on, I believe, but then she would move regardless if the lights were off. And the reason why that's so much better is because in the current version, if you're ever panicking, you can just stop and look at her and you kind of get a breather. When I was first playing that, you can't stop. You can make her slow down by looking at her, but you can't make her stop. And so it made it like a very panic-inducing game.
In my part 2, that was the early version of Ms. Delight, actually, in my part 2 video. That was when I faced her for the first time, and she was still like that, which I personally think they should have kept. But, of course, there are some people who get frustrated and say now she's too broken, she's too difficult, you know.
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, I agree. The old version was so much better. Adds more to the horror. I would say. So it's like you're not safe at all. Even if you're like just looking at her, you're not safe. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what made it cool.
I feel like that was one of the most unique Weeping Angels too. I don't think any other Weeping Angels in the games have ever done that.
Hmm.
I feel like that was one of the unique things that Mob did with one of the characters.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is like a lot. I have watched a few people like review the game and everything, and a lot of the time they'll say, "Oh, it is a boring mechanic, but it's still like cool the gameplay." But they originally had a like a relatively unique concept uh for her mechanics. Like
Yeah,
you can't just look at
exactly.
her and stop her. Everything was meant to be like pretty unique with it, but them opting to just make her like fully stop definitely I feel like made it a little bit worse. But I get it. It was like don't get me wrong, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard the first time. It took me a few tries
Not
the first
sure.
time.
Not sure if they updated it when the game actually released on the 30th. Because when we got early access, it was like that for the first time
It
that
was
we
like
got.
that for good forever, right? I thought they patched it all. It was just like like a day zero release
I
patch.
think they nerfed her on day two from public release. I believe. I'm not sure if I'm right,
I thought
but
they did it instantly. Maybe
no.
not.
But I just remember when we got early access, she was like that all the time.
Yeah, rip old Miss Delight.
She will be missed. All right. Fifth question. Was Catnap everything you thought he was gonna be? Was he more threatening or more intense than Huggy and Mommy?
um. Okay. So it's sort of a tough question because the thing that made Catnap so sick in like the lead up to chapter 3 was how like he was such a mysterious character. They only ever full revealed him once in the gameplay trailers. Um and they do that so well throughout the game where like you never see him, you kind of can see him in the distance. Um he's always lurking. He's writing in the walls saying that he's still watching you. You see like his cage in the dog day section before he comes out and gets you. And that
Oh
is
yeah.
done so well, but they completely destroyed that suspense when in the first scene of the game, you get to see his full face,
Mm-hmm.
and in the loading screen for the game, the menu, you get to see his full body. Like I hate that.
Yeah,
I
like they
if
could have
they
kept it mysterious throughout.
Yeah,
Like not in the
if they
beginning.
kept it mysterious, imagine watching new people play. They would have no idea what he is.
Uh huh. Yeah, I agree actually.
That that's what I would have loved. I guess compared to Huggy or Mommy Longlegs, he's more he's scarier. He's not necessarily like as threatening because he doesn't really ever attack the player head on until the very end, and it's like a super minor chase scene. That is the one complaint. I know they were probably like, oh, we don't want to add too many chase scenes because there's Mist Delight, there's Dog
Yeah.
Day,
Mm-hmm.
but they should have made like a sick, like a way cooler, chase
Chase.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Catnap deserved it, honestly.
Yeah, that actually brings me to my next question. Do you think Catnap was underused in this chapter?
No. I think I've heard a lot of people saying that like they wanted more from Catnap. He wouldn't be scary if he was he shows up more than any other character. Literally like every section you go into, he's like either hiding or he's scratching on the walls or there's like mini cutscenes like where he kills Bunzo. He's in every place except for the Mist Delight section because they had their little deal like in the notes it said they had a deal that
Yeah.
he wouldn't go near them, which I appreciate the continuity. But he shows up basically everywhere. What I would have liked is to have had him be some kind of roaming enemy, like if there was
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Bending in the Dark Revival where the
Mm-hmm.
ink demon just like randomly comes
Oh,
even though
I
he
get you.
has
I get you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah
Catnap is coming.
y-
Hide.
well, it like in my first playthrough, exploring play care was always the scariest part because like when it was in the dark before you turn the lights on, it was like so creepy because you were so open and vulnerable. They should have had something for that.
I honestly thought they were
Uh,
gonna do that. Like at night, Catnap will be roaming around the play care, and we had to sneak around them. I thought they
yeah,
were gonna do that.
imagine it wouldn't have to be like an active threat. Imagine it'd be like the the Ballora hallway in Sister Location where you kind of just like hear him coming and then like you need to do something like stand still or hide.
Yeah, that'd be
That would
awesome.
make it so suspenseful, especially for replaythroughs. So he wasn't underutilized. Like I know what they were going for. Uh, I just wish they made him more of a threat. That's
Mm.
the thing I think most people are upset about is that he was only ever threatening for one minor scene. But he shows up everywhere. I just wish he would have, there would have been some kind of looming threat that would have made it core.
Yeah, so like we're not safe anywhere. Like you can't stay
Yeah, or
in here for too long. Something like how old Security Breach was gonna have a Vanny meter. So if you stand still
mhm.
near there, Vanny would have come for you anyway.
Yeah, or like red gas.
Yeah,
Like had the red gas build up or
keep
something.
going, keep going. Don't stay in one area too long. You know, something like that.
Yeah, that would have been sick. It would have like induced panic, and it's like, well, uh, during the Home Sweet Home section in my first playthrough specifically, I was super scared because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it made the puzzles so much harder. It made that section take me like an hour. By the time it was my second playthrough, I knew nothing could get me, and so just it takes 5 minutes to beat that
You're more
section.
calm after the first
hmm
playthroughs because yeah, like you said, there's nothing is gonna come. So it's like, eh.
There should have been though, because then I'd rather have the game like it took an hour the first time because I was scared and I enjoyed it.
This chapter
Um
kept me on edge. So it's like, I was hoping for that. They actually did keep me on edge the whole time, like how Bendy
oh
does.
yeah.
The Bendy games always keep me on edge. Like I'm never relaxed or anything in Bendy. So for this chapter at first, they did it very well.
Yeah, just on replays.
Yeah, replays is just, you know.
I think it would have been fixable though, like I said, with having like Cat not be a roaming enemy or just having more like looming threats. Like imagine if every area had something related to like the mini critters in the playhouse. That part was I know they're like adorable, but that part was like kind of the freakiest part wherever they would just like swarm you and you sort of are forced to start moving.
I found that section more difficult than Mr. Light, to be honest, because you never know when they're gonna turn the corner when you're running. So that whole
Mhm.
time, I'm always aware. I'm not just dashing
Yeah.
through it because I know they could just turn the corner and then you're dead.
Yeah, and even when you first get into the playhouse area and they start uh they just start swarming and you have no time to explore. I remember I was like, "Oh, I'm going to have to go back to this area." I had to go back to the playhouse more than anything else to explore because you're just like forced whenever tens, like dozens of them come out and start chasing you. But that made it fun. It forced progression. That's sort of
Yeah.
the thing, forced progression. And people would get less lost too, I feel like if they didn't have the ability to look through every single area for half an hour and then be like, "Oh, where do I go now?" Cuz that happened to me a lot. My playthrough took like 5 hours cuz I kept exploring and then I'd get
After a few patches, they
lost.
fixed that a little bit. They added guidelines. Not
Mhm.
still perfect, but they added some
Mhm.
stuff. Like, oh, you have to go here.
Yeah, then maybe that's an old issue.
Yeah, especially when we got early access. We were on our own pretty much. Like we didn't have anybody to help us that much, except for
I
the
didn't
beta
want to look at the
testers.
chat.
Especially for the beta testers. For example, I got stuck in this one part, and I had to stop my game, my recording, and ask my friend Cotton to help me, and he helped me
Mhm.
instantly. I was like, how do you do this puzzle? That was like the only time I got stuck. But other than that, we were pretty much on our own. We were blind.
Yeah, and with the ending scene, or the boss fight with Catnap, I had read when we were playing the game early, there was some problem with like the final encounter. I have no idea what it was still to this day, but there was some glitch that they were working on, and I had read that before I played, But then I got to the catnap area, and it tells you what to do on the screen, but pretty briefly. And I was too busy. Like, I was exploring all the tunnels he comes out of, catnap comes out of. And so by the time I get there, I had no idea what was going on. And even then, it doesn't explain it perfectly well. That part was really confusing, and I was like, oh man, it's bugged. So I just closed it, and I was like, I can't even play the game right now. But then I just reopened it and figured it out.
Yeah, I was kind of confused on that part too, but after looking at the screen, I was like, oh, okay, seems simple. It's simple. The boss fight is simple, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of easy. If I'm being honest, it's easy. If you know what you're doing,
Yeah,
of course.
Is it working properly? Like, even still? Because
For me, yeah, it is. It always does. I'm not sure if anybody else.
catnap can come from the front,
Uh-huh.
the top, and then the two sides. But have you ever had him come on the sides? I've had it happen twice.
On the sides,
That
yeah.
he came on the sides. I've had it happen 2 times ever. That's it.
One time, he only came on top of from on top, where you had to pull down the hatch. He only appears from up there. Like, he didn't appear again. Like, after I shut it down, he never appeared again. So it was just
that happened to me too.
It was just an easy play. I was like, oh, okay, I would just chill then. He just like glitched out or bugged out of existence. I'm not sure. I think they fixed it, but
maybe
that section is still pretty fun, I would say. And the music too. The music helps with the intensity.
Well, I think what they did very well about that section, even though I've so far just been complaining about it, is the way that they did the difficulty progression. Instead of catnap just getting angrier and faster, you are forced to, you get these lines of defenses, and then you're forced yourself to pick what you want to lose. Do you want to lose the extra green, the extra green power charge? Do you want to lose smoke on the left or the right? So the way that they make the game more difficult by forcing you to decide like what you want to lose power to, I think is so well done, and they don't get enough credit for that specifically.
Wait, the boss fight actually does that? I didn't know it actually does that. Like, you sacrifice some stuff or some power. I don't think I didn't know you sacrifice.
That's what you put the batteries in for, because one of them gives you lights, the other one has a green charge, and then there's 2 on the sides that blow smoke whenever you plug the batteries in.
I think once you connect all 4, I think after you connect 3 batteries, I don't think catnap spawns from the sides anymore. I'm pretty sure, because every time I play it, he doesn't, or it doesn't bug out to the point where I have to sacrifice everything. But it plays out so smoothly for me. I'm not sure about anybody else, but like, I didn't know it was sacrificing your stuff. I know the power, but even then, the power didn't do anything for me. So it's like, because when I play it, or how I set up my stuff to do that boss fight, I put all the batteries in the middle, so I have them all ready.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do that.
You're supposed to have them on the sides because they give protection.
No, I just gather them all in the middle, so I know where to put them.
Yeah,
so that's how I do it.
Oh well,
maybe that was
the way it's supposed to work. Is just supposed to. It's so easy that it doesn't really matter. But the way it's supposed to work, at least I think, is you're supposed to plug them all in, and then you get all those protection things. Because there's ways on both the left and the right sides to also shoot the smoke with the green hand charges on the sides, but you don't need to do that as long as you have the batteries into them. So that's like a line of protection.
I use the green hands for those 2 sides.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That section's just kind of a hot mess in terms of like understanding it. I guess I still clearly don't have a full understanding, and the chapter's been out for what, like a month almost?
Almost a month, 6 days. Yep.
Yeah. Or by the time this releases, it should be about a month.
And this actually brings me to the next question. What was your least favorite thing about chapter 3?
My least favorite thing, I would say that there are like a couple things here and there that I don't particularly like, just like with certain sections, as we've talked about. But I'd say the one one issue that the game does suffer with the most is probably replayability. Um, because whenever I played the game the first time, it was pretty much action 24/7 because, as we've discussed, there's so much tension being built.
Mm-hmm.
But when playing it the second time, you have to let Catnap throw you down into the trash compactor. You have to get out of it. You have to go on the freaking tram, which is like 2.5 minutes, and you're just sitting there, just like so bored. Um, so yeah, and there's a lot of voice lines, and then you have to go through the loading screens a million times. Once you get to the Home Sweet Home section, nothing is gonna happen to you, and everything is scripted.
Mm-hmm.
Like the nightmare sequence, completely scripted. There's nothing that can harm you in the actual gameplay area. So that part's boring. The kissy missy cutscene goes on very long when you're trying to replay it.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's just like the first hour of the game is so much, like there's so much to it that it's not very replayable. So I thank goodness they recently added chapters into the game, like where you can pick where you go.
Yeah.
So that should solve the problem. I haven't replayed the game with the new patch since, but having to replay and watch all of that stuff and spend even replaying it takes like 30 minutes to do all that stuff, and the rest of the game it takes the same amount of time. So just to get to like, let's say I needed a shot for a video of the final scene or whatever, that means sitting through 30 minutes of just like stuff I don't want to. So that's a big thing, the replayability.
Yeah, and that was all before or even after the new patch with all the chapters you can select. Because before that patch, I had the folders with all the checkpoints, so I didn't have a
Mm-hmm.
problem replaying it and getting the stuff I needed. But I
Mm-hmm.
understand the frustration with that. My least favorite thing actually is Ollie. I'm not really a
Ollie?
I'm not really a fan of the whole voice guiding you thing. I'm not really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like something like security breach. Like that was like the only thing I didn't really like about security breach. Just a voice telling you where to go, on how to progress. In chapter 2, it wasn't like that. You just knew where to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, Ollie just constantly almost talking. I don't know. I didn't really like it. To be honest.
Well, I mean, I see what you mean, and again, on replaythroughs, he's so annoying. But when I was first playing the game, when there was so much tension built up, he was sort of like a safe haven. Like if he called me, that was the one time that I felt like I couldn't get attacked. So whenever, like in my first playthrough, when I'd get a call from him, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Like it was relieving because it meant like I was safe for a second. Like when the power shut down in the gas production zone and he called me, I was like, oh, okay. I was like so worried and all the tension, and it sort of relieved that. If they were trying to make you more scared, then maybe it would have been better that they left him out. And also maybe a little bit of a cop out to just like have, oh, you pick up the phone and they tell you what to do. That does sort of that that does sort of feel like, an easy way out for the building a game and storytelling through what you see rather than what you hear. But I didn't mind it, to be honest. I'd say it was all right.
Mm.
Always all right. I wish they would have told more about his story though.
Yeah, people still think he's the prototype. So I don't know.
He might be.
Mike, because it doesn't make sense. How does a child survive for 10 years and haven't grown up? Since it's a
Mhm.
child's voice. So it's like, eh. And since the prototype can mimic voices too, apparently
That
now.
matters. Like there's no way they just did that and then it doesn't have some relevance to chapter 3. That's like the biggest thing is like, oh, it's a child. And then there's the prototype who was known to live in or roam around Playcare and can mimic voices. I just don't see a way where they build all that up through the ARGs and everything and just not have Ollie be the prototype. I don't know. That's the big thing for me. I know there's a lot of conflicting evidence that's sort of like, oh, then why would why would he help us in the first place? And it's like, yeah, that's true.
No, but the whole time it seems like we're doing something bad throughout chapter 3. We're creating more gas. So like, why would we want to create more gas?
Why do we move it to the left anyway?
That and just I don't know that and just creating
Why
gas
do
in
we
general.
move it?
I don't know. Just creating gas in general just didn't seem like a good thing to do. So like, why would we want to be helping Ollie or Ollie guiding us to make more gas if gas is the bad thing?
I don't know, but Poppy has Ollie's trust too. That's what's weird about it. So if he is the prototype, then it's like they're clashing. And I don't know.
That
And
or
and
maybe Poppy doesn't know he's the prototype yet. Maybe he's
oh
just the
no,
voice
that's
or
totally
something.
possible. But then wouldn't she have if moving the red smoke and doing all that stuff was actually a bad thing, then she would have caught on, right?
Maybe.
Um and what's also interesting is whenever we move the gas to the left, it goes you can actually follow it and see it inside of that the lift room before we go down. And
Yeah.
the pipes go downward. So it seems like the smoke might show up again in the chapter, to be honest, because we'll still have the gas mask. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple areas where we still see the smoke because we moved it towards the lifting room. So there has to be
True.
a reason for it.
Yeah, I agree. Why did we move the gas to the left? I don't know.
I'm hoping we don't have to wait that long. It seems like there's those like very big questions that they just leave super ambiguous. Ollie, the what happened to Kissy, like all these things, they didn't hint at them at all, which gives me hope that they're not planning for this chapter to take nearly as long. Because, they gave us hints about play care and we were able to theorize about it for the multiple years we had to wait. But right now, we have all these questions and every single like the only way to answer them is to speculate. Just speculate. Just base it off the last like everything we know. Everything we know about the characters and the chapter. We can speculate, but there's no hints that give us like a true answer. And I'm hoping they did that because they're not planning on having us waiting as long. At least ideally, because I don't know if I can it's gonna be really hard to make theories in the future when it's gonna be like what can we predict? What happened to the red gas? What happened to Ollie? What happened to Kissy? These are all things that we don't have hints for.
Yeah, like there's no hints for chapter 4 at all, I think.
Yeah, I've speculated on them, but they're just they're you know speculation is just like a mix of like what we know previously and guessing. So I like there's just not much evidence. So we'll get teasers though. We should get a
Yeah,
teaser trailer this summer probably.
maybe. I mean, hopefully they don't take 2 years to develop or so develop, because they just started like last May, like we all know, but they have been hinting on chapter 3 for like a year before that. So like we assumed that they were in production already or in development, but no,
Mm-hmm.
they just been doing something else.
Yeah, well, they were working on
Project, right?
developing project, so it makes sense. Don't get me wrong, like the fact that they made Project even though Project isn't like the greatest multiplayer game of all time, the fact that they made it in such a short amount of time is honestly crazy. That might be one of the like craziest turnaround times for a game I've seen. That might be more impressive, the fact that they were able to build that entire game uh while finishing up chapter 2, because they started development of that in January and dropped it in December, I believe. Probably give or take a couple months. Um that is might be more impressive than chapter 3.
I think it only took them 6 months to create project. 2 months less than chapter 3.
Yeah, I feel like that's more. It'd be more complex than chapter 3. I guess not. It's not like a long like experience, but I don't know. I know most indie companies in general just like don't touch the multiplayer genre, literally just because it's annoying to work with. Like most of them do like servers, like Lethal Company, Secret
Mm-hmm.
Neighbor, Among Us. I know most of them do servers, And Project Playtime did that too. They're kind of, they're, I don't know how to describe how it works now. Now you can queue for lobbies with randoms. But to be able to make one of those games, as an indie studio and then do it so fast, it is pretty, it is pretty impressive. I'm hoping though, for to staying on subject for chapter 4, that they don't take that long. Like I'm hoping it releases around the time the sequel to the FNAF movie releases, like next year.
I think Zach said they're already on full steam ahead for chapter 4, like so quickly already.
I I hope if they are, then that means like okay, we could definitely be expecting it by like the end of the year. Depending on how big it is. I hope it's not bigger than chapter 3. I think anything longer than like 3 to 5 hours is like okay, you're pushing it a bit. Like it might just be getting too long for what it's worth. Um but I yeah, I'm hoping it drops soon. In terms of what's coming next for chapter 4, we're gonna get a teaser trailer, and usually even with chapter 3 they weren't developing chapter 3, that they were close to being done with project by August of 2022, which was when the first teaser trailer came out for chapter 3. So I'm very confident, especially with how ambiguous the ending to chapter 3 was. I'm super confident we're gonna get the next teaser trailer in early summer, maybe even late spring, because there's just, people, there's so many questions and no answers. Just like a small tease, like with the teaser trailer with the gas mask and showing the red gas, that fueled so many theories at the time. We need another one of those, hopefully, sometime soon.
Because right now
No
we pretty
pressure.
much have nothing for Project and Poppy. We don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean it's not a big deal because we did just get chapter 3. But in terms of what is next, we are sort of left with not very many answers. I don't know how many chapter 4, like I have like one more chapter 4 theory I want to make, and then it's like I don't know how many more, like I don't know how much more there is to talk about until more information's given. Which I'm sure they did it on purpose. I'm sure everything they're doing is calculated, but that gives me hope that's like, okay, they're maybe going to go the route of like what they did with chapter 3 and Project Playtime, where they do like ARGs and teasers and stuff like that. Just maybe they're revealing less information now, just because by the time chapter 3's trailers came out, we had been given so many teasers. We got 2 sets of screenshots from the Steam page. We got leaks from just like in the Discord server of the Piston area. We got the the like the purple hand platforming area teaser early, which used to have barrels on it, by the way. We got the this is what he does to heretics, the VHS tape, all the smiling critters images, the ARG, the gas mask smoking test, the 2 teaser trailers. We got so much stuff. And that like that was, I didn't even list everything there. So to a point where it's like, okay, it was great for like making videos and just getting to like consistently talk about stuff, but we were given a lot of information, and I think maybe they reeled it back right now, because they're like, okay, if we're gonna start staying consistent and dropping teaser trailers like after the first couple months, like what they have with the other ones, it might be better to have like more consistent content. Kind of like in January of 2023 when they started dropping those little VHS tapes. That was such a cool time because we had stuff to theorize about, even though it wasn't related to chapter 3.
Yeah, I thought they were related, but yeah.
They're related to the entire lore. Some of them have ties to chapter 3, but They're just their own things. That is like what I think they're trying to do is sort of like we have all these questions, no teases to them. Now, let's say it's going to take us a year to make this next game, which, assuming they're going full steam ahead on it, like what they've said, even that's being somewhat generous. That they have all these questions they can tease to in the months coming, rather than doing with what they did with Chapter 3, to where it would be like, oh, we're so back when they started dropping the VHS tapes, and then they just left us with nothing for multiple months. And then in June, when they revealed the Chapter 3 ARG teaser and the Chapter 1 remaster and the Phase 2 of Project Playtime, and we're so back. And then August, September, October, nothing. And in November, it started to gear up, then the game got delayed. Then end of January, it released. I think they want to be more consistent, which I think is a good recommendation if any mobsters are watching this video.
I do agree. Yeah, just constantly stuff to talk about.
They do a good job of it. I feel like overall, just like it. Even though they released a lot.
Yeah, now that I think about it and remember, they did give us a whole ton, which was awesome.
I don't think they were planning on it though, because we know Chapter 3 was meant to drop in October of last year. So I don't think they were planning to reveal nearly as much stuff as they did. Like most, I don't know if they meant to release the Steam screenshots as early as they did, or the random Discord teases they would give, just like all of that stuff. I feel like wasn't originally supposed to be teases, but they ended up just like repurposing them,
especially when some devs just straight up say stuff, especially Zach. He just says
yeah
oh yeah, like Boxy's in it somehow, just random teases like that.
That stuff is cool for content because it's not too revealing, but it gives you a lot to like think about and theorize about. And there was an era in like May of 2023 where Micah was like every few days he would just come into chat and drop a couple of lore hints, or like about like the specs or whatever. And I don't know, it was a really cool rollout. I know it was a lot of stuff, and like I said, I'm sure for Chapter 4 they're trying to leave more things ambiguous so they can drop a lot of teasers and allow people to theorize more without revealing things too much. But especially in terms of theorizing and for content, I do love the way they do that. They tease a lot, and they didn't reveal. They didn't fully reveal most things until Chapter 3 fully released, and I also loved that they completely kept Mist Delight in the dark until the trailers, because that was one thing I was a little bit. I was like, man, we got pretty much every single thing has been teased, and they gave us clues about it, but we had no idea that Mist Delight existed until like outside of like one Discord message where they said there's another character. Like, we didn't know, and that made it super exciting. So I do like when they need to hold some things back. So yeah,
sometimes what they do in movies too, like they just hold the villain or they keep some characters out of the trailers. I hope they do that for Chapter 4 or other editing content in the future.
Yeah, I want to learn what happened to Ollie though.
Like you said, Miss Delight's secrecy was so well hidden and so, I don't know, mysterious. She was just mysterious in general, because even in the trailers we didn't even see her like fully revealed. We had to play the game to actually see how she looked.
Yeah, that made her area the most exciting.
And we had no idea what her mechanics, well, except for what Amber said about the Weeping Angel thing, but like besides that,
even then we weren't sure.
Because even then she wasn't like a Weeping Angel before they nerfed her.
Yeah, and there was like with the Nightmare Huggy sequence, I'll admit it. Maybe I'm actually very curious. Whenever you put in the VHS tape before Nightmare Huggy comes out of the screen, did you know what was gonna happen?
Mm,
like from the trailers?
I would be honest, no.
Really? Because I knew. I was like, the moment I put the tape in and I saw it was like the weird warped Huggy. I actually said it in my original playthrough. I said you better not turn into the nightmare Huggy. I wasn't expecting him to come out of the screen, but like, uh, oh, um, imagine how cool that would have been, like that, that heart dropping moment if that would have happened and they didn't tease it in the trailers at all. Um, I know
Oh, like him
Micah
popping
said
up.
all the way, yeah, like if that just happened, if no one knew he was coming back and then he came back,
Oh yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
I know Micah in like the summer had said there were I don't remember the exact quote. He said that there were certain things that he wanted to put in the trailers but wasn't sure because he wanted to keep it a surprise. I'm pretty confident that's one of those things, the Huggy reveal. It ended up being in the trailer. Cuz they ended up doing two trailers, but it I'm curious to see if the game didn't get two trailers, if that would have ever been revealed. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. If they only kept Huggy a secret or hidden, like like how Miss Delight was,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that would have been two big surprises that we weren't expecting, because they did say in the
Mm-hmm.
trailers that they didn't reveal anything like big, so that's what made it so intriguing.
I still think their best trailer though, was the second chapter 3 teaser trailer. Even watching that, that is such a chilling trailer. Um, and like with the first catnap reveal, and you can tell because the game was still pretty early in development that they didn't have anything figured out. And looking back on it now, knowing everything, they cinematically designed it very well because you can't tell where anything is. The prototype shrine, it was supposed to be in the toy store in the unused files. They ended up scrapping the toy store entirely. But
Hmm.
when you watch it back, you can't tell what is going on. You can just see it, and I don't know. I think it's very well made uh in that aspect. So that's still my favorite trailer
I
because it was
agree.
like before knowing what Home Sweet Home was, it's so eerie. I loved it.
Yeah, it kind of looks different too, because I don't think Home Sweet Home has any candles on the floor, right? Or anything on the walls.
Nope. It does have stuff on the walls, but
Yeah, but like on the
no
floor or
candles.
anything, no.
No huggy bodies dripping,
Yeah, where was
which
that
I think
Huggy
was
head?
supposed
Yeah, huh? I don't think that was ever in the game.
it was probably supposed to, maybe. I don't know.
Because I know in production in general, like for movies and everything, they don't
Mhm.
put everything from the trailer in the actual final thing. Because there are
Mhm.
there are some cut stuff from the final trailer that we weren't that wasn't in the game. Like us shooting the fireball at Catnap, that wasn't in the game.
Oh yeah, yeah. There and Catnap like peeking his head out in Home Sweet Home. Like I said, there used to be barrels in the area where we jump.
Hmm.
Where we jump with the purple hand. I don't know why, but
He also changed where
um,
we picked up the hand, right?
the I don't know, but they changed where you pick up the gas mask. There
Oh
used
yeah,
to be
I
like a
noticed that.
dedicated
That was the
stand for it.
first thing I noticed on my playthrough. I was like, wait, that was on the wall. Now it's up here.
Uh huh. Yeah,
I was like, hmm.
I don't know why they did that, but
I just I just didn't like how that specific that part was cut. Shooting,
mm-hmm.
because I really thought that was going to be a mechanic. He will be peeking around corners, stalking us, and we have to shoot him for him to get up, to get him away from us before he
Mm-hmm.
eventually catch up to us. I thought that was going to be one of the main parts.
Yeah. Um, I I was hoping he'd be a roaming enemy. I was pretty confident in it. Um, but I guess they still sort of had him roam in some kind of way. He just wasn't aggressive. So that
Yeah.
is another big complaint of mine is um him not being a roaming enemy.
It would have been nice just to see him in the background. Like, oh yeah,
Well, we
he's
do
always watching us.
see him.
Yeah, we do
Like
see him, but
like we said, he's just not aggressive. He should have been aggressive.
I was really hoping for him to be a enemy in play care outside in the dark at least.
Yeah, because we even saw it in the Hour of Joy tape. Like
Yeah,
he was
yeah, exactly.
roaming.
That's what I said. Like that should have been in the final cut. He should have just been roaming
Yeah, that
outside,
that'd have been sick.
right? So
That's a missed
like
opportunity.
even if we got out the buildings, we're still not safe.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want any kind of save points. That would have made the phone calls more bearable because I had said before they felt like a safe haven to me in my first playthrough. If the phone calls were the only safe place, I think people would be more would tolerate them more and not think they're annoying. If like imagine if the phone was not like a wireless phone, if you had to go under statues to access the phone every
Yeah.
time, and that was the safe area, but whenever you left it, like Ollie would give you your key. I wonder if this was originally actually this is interesting. You're starting to make me wonder. Like, you ever notice how weird it is that we spend a big part of the game like plugging random crap in to the bottom?
Yeah, that was just the power.
Yeah, but why couldn't have that happened automatically? Part of me wonders if maybe under the statues area was going to be like a safe haven, but going out into play care wouldn't have been safe, because imagine how much cooler and how much more interesting those plugging in parts of the game would have been if if once you're out there, like catnap can get you, so you then have to like grab the plug and then quickly make it back, and then Ollie would give you your next key and you have to quickly rush to the next
That would have
area.
been
That would have been
great.
so cool.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a risk. Yeah, go over there and grab it, but Catnap's out there, so watch out. Once you grab it, the chase starts. Yeah, that would have been so much better.
Yeah, part of me wonders if that was possibly an intention, because that plugging in part feels so random. Um like there's just no reason for it. It could have easily just automatically worked and the game wouldn't change one bit. So I really think like a part of the game would have been, okay, you powered it on, you now you have to plug them in themselves, because you spend a very short amount of time inside of play care. So if they would have added catnap as a roaming enemy in there, it might have not have been that interesting. But if they made you plug everything in yourself like they did in the actual game, it would have forced you to spend more time. I wonder if that was like originally meant to be a mechanic, because that, I mean, just thinking of it on the spot, that would have made the game genuinely a lot better, a lot more replayable, and a lot scarier. It would have made the phone calls more bearable. It would have made catnap more interesting. I really feel like that would have been like a really good change if it was ever supposed to be in the game. So there's one suggestion.
Yeah, that would have been great. I swear. That reminds me of one of the mechanics I thought they were gonna do, where the whole area was gonna be filled with red gas, and you know how we can barely see out of it when we have the gas packs on. I thought we were gonna be in an area where we had to put that on, and Catnap will be in the same room with us, and he'll be peeking around and looking into the mask, so like we will see his face going past our eyes or something like that. So we have to sneak by him, and we get to see him in the red gas. I thought they were gonna do something like that. You know, just
That would have been cool.
right? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Do you mean like in like some of the Five Nights at Freddy's cutscenes where sometimes you'd get a view
Yeah, I was gonna say
of the animatronics and you'd see them in the sides?
You know how Toy Bonnie appears when you have the mask on in Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Toy Bonnie appears when something like that. So when we have the gas mask on, Catnap will be looking into our eyes. I thought we were gonna have something like that.
Yeah, the gas mask wasn't utilized enough. I'm glad though. I'm glad. It's annoying. It's super annoying. If it didn't exist in the game, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I would say, but like, you know, at first it looked like the gas mask was like the face of Chapter 3, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna have a bigger part, but it was just like in some little 10-second little bits.
I'm still that was one thing I predicted somewhat early on, as we talked about like 20 minutes ago, was that the gas mask would be a game mechanic. Still, I'm glad it wasn't a big part of the game, because I'm sorry, it's just that part was frustrating. I think they figured out it was frustrating pretty quickly, Just like
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking this before the game came out too. I was like, man, it's gonna be really it's gonna get really annoying if you have to like complete puzzles with the gas mask on, because it just feels like an unnecessary obstacle. So I'm glad they went like super light with it. I think there's like 2 sections where you use it, and they're both in Home Sweet Home. Oh no, there's one
And
area
the
in
counselor's office where kind of.
yeah. That part I would say was the one time where it was like kind of okay, because it was meant to mask him coming out and getting him. That was cool. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
couldn't. I don't care for it. It was kind of lame.
That jump scare was so well played.
That one made me jump.
I think it got everybody.
Yeah, I shared because I didn't post my first playthrough anywhere, but I shared it with you, and it had me scream a little bit. Had me turn into a little baby a little bit.
No, Bendy gets me, or it makes me into a little
Really?
baby. Yeah, Bendy.
I didn't find Bendy that scary. I found the it's been too long. I found the
Boris.
what is the no what is the girl when you open the coffin and then she starts chasing you around in Bendy in the Dark Revival and just jump scares you randomly like forever.
Oh, it's the monkey. I think it's a monkey.
I don't know if it was a monkey. It was like someone wearing a mask, but
Yeah, and it just appears out of nowhere and starts chasing you.
that would scare me so bad to the point where like that I no need to like have that game catch strays, but I hated that part of that game, because if you just didn't open it, then you would have been cool, and like that made the the experience way more enjoyable, because that was a lot of cheap jump scares, and
Yeah.
that it scared me, but it would scare me and I'd be like, man, come on.
I find that more scary
It was
than the ink
annoying.
demon itself. It's just the random,
Um
it's just the random pop-ups is what gets you.
yeah, they get you, but it doesn't like they get you, and like there's like sort of 2 types of jump scares, and I think Poppy avoids this pretty well. There's they have a couple troll ones with like the pipes, but at least it's like somewhat self-aware. There's like the good jump scares where you get jumped and then you're almost just like thankful that it's that like it's over. Like it makes you jump and you're like, oh, like a sigh of relief, like in a Five Nights at Freddy's game when you're worried you're about to die and then you get jumped and there's all that suspense. Those are like good, and you feel good after them. But then there's like the cheap ones where it's like you can't avoid it. There's no suspense, and then it just gets you, and you're just like, man, come on. Like it just makes you mad. At least it makes me mad. Some jump scares make me mad.
Surprisingly, no jump scares actually get me mad, per se. Maybe just every time I lose, when I'm trying to complete something.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, good time, like very good timing for a topic switch. Right now we were just given we were just given the thumbnail for the Poppy Roblox game. Which I guess we can talk about shortly here. Right now it's the 24th, so on the day of filming nobody knows about it, but I think by the time this releases the Roblox game should be out, right?
Yeah,
maybe
since this will release in December.
In December. Well, the game looks fun. Haven't played it yet. The game looks fun. It has a cool level editor. RIP Project though. RIP Project. They're doing another multiplayer game instead. You know that meme with like the person playing with the child, and then there's the other person, like there's the other child left out, and then there's the skeleton at the bottom. Yeah, it's gonna be this Roblox game, and then just like at the bottom is gonna be Project Playtime.
Yeah, like the baby on top is Poppy, is the new Roblox game. The kid drowning is Chapter 3, and the skeleton is Project. That's perfect. I might actually make that. But from what we've seen so far of the game at this time, I'm kind of not disappointed per se, but like I'm just kind of a little bit annoyed how it looks like Roblox, you know? Because there are some incredible games made in Roblox that doesn't look like Roblox at all. So I was hoping this game would have been like that, but but you know, we just got what we got. But hopefully the gameplay is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. It should be out by the time this is out, so everybody watching, comment down below what you think of it. You're welcome for the engagement, Nized.
Oh, don't worry. I want the attention.
But hopefully it's good. We haven't played it yet. It looks fun. The level editor looks fun. That's the thing, is the level editor. Being able to like build your own levels. Maybe I'll be able to build a Poppy Playtime that actually has Sweet Sheep in it. So we'll see. We'll see.
The only place Sweet Sheep will be in.
It'll be in a Poppy game. It'll be in a Poppy game. There you go. But yeah, there's not much we can say about that right now until we've played it.
Yeah, I just hope it's good, fun, at least replayable. I hope it doesn't replace Project though. I really do hope they replace Project again.
I don't think it will. I really don't.
And just to be clear, this game is not canon. Okay, just want to make that clear. The Roblox game is not canon.
Apparently we're allowed to say that it's not canon.
We're encouraged to say it.
Oh, okay. We're encouraged to say. Yes, it's not canon. There will not be any theory videos. I'm sure somebody's gonna make a theory. Like, that'll be interesting. Someone's gonna make a theory video about it. Like the lore of the level editor or something. But yeah, unfortunately it's not canon, which means I'll probably do like a live stream for it.
And that's it.
But that's it. Yeah. I'll make a live stream about it. I'll probably play it on my own too, because it does genuinely look fun. Like, I can see myself just like spending an unreasonable amount of time building my own Poppy levels. At least if the assets are cool, like if they like have your own like tiles themed to the game and everything, that would be super sick, and people would be able to make like their own fan concepts and put them into live. People are gonna make some sick stuff, so that'll be cool. Yeah, I know what you mean with the fact that it looks like a Roblox game, and I honestly don't really play Roblox. I play Roblox Doors. That game's actually really good horror game, but you know, I'm not really playing much Roblox.
I only got Roblox just for this.
Oh, right, you didn't even have it?
No. I was never
Everyone, you need to have Roblox. That's like a rule of like it's the most universal game. You can play it on your phone. I was playing Doors on my phone, just randomly.
I used to be an iPad kid back then, but nope.
Well, I guess they saw that the Smiling Critters roleplay had and I think still has. But hey, that has Sweet Sheep in it.
Yeah.
The Smiling Critters Smiling Critters Poppy Playtime roleplay has more players than their official Project Playtime, at least at most times. I don't know if they do right now. And that game has Sweet Sheep in it. That's why. So they're trying to dip into that market, but if they want more players, that's what they have to do. That's why everyone plays that one.
It's a reason why not to play it though.
Yeah, exclusively. Exclusively. They remove that Easter egg. No one plays. So, I'll take my check. For a character I didn't create.
Yeah, all those go to Amber. She's the rightful owner of Sweet Sheep.
I don't know. It's actually the rights of that are actually super weird because, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. It's kind of fan art of the Smiling Critters. Kind of fan art on my channel. She gave it to me to use in videos. So it's like, but I don't know. I don't get it. It's too complex. We're not going to talk about the legality of Sweet Sheep. He's not even in the game.
It's not an official character.
Yeah, should have been.
Should have been.
I'll be forever bitter. What is the next question, Mr. Nized?
Okay, I think I got this. Okay. Okay. Was the Hour of Joy tape what you expected it to be? Did anything surprise you during the watch?
Well, I originally thought the Hour of Joy VHS was going to be the one from the trailer with Catnap chasing the person through the playhouse, because they played it out like it was going to be, or at least they sort of hinted at it. So I was not expecting for them to just show everything. I thought they were gonna show like some person running through the playhouse and then Catnap attacks them. I wasn't expecting them to show
The
everything
entire
that
thing.
happened. The biggest shock to me was that Kissy Missy attacked also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like jaw dropping.
I think that was the big surprise.
Yeah, and it's weird because why is Poppy working with Kissy when she did that? Because when she was literally showing, the reason she showed us the Hour of Joy in the game was to be like, look how horrible these toys are, time to stop them. And then Kissy's just showed up there. Like, what? That just like in terms of the plot feels really weird, and they don't explain it. I've heard people be like, oh well, maybe she's learned from her ways, and like in the music video, they also showed that Kissy Missy is like in the catnap cult in a way. Again, I know like what is shown there
Yeah, I got you.
isn't necessarily physically what you see, but it's so weird that they have all this imagery showing that she was also a part of the cult, but then like why is she working with Poppy? I know we see her like she's all like traumatized and uh like holding her arms, sitting down whenever she's on the lift, but I don't really get like why she killed the people. She didn't have to. Everyone, they probably would have died anyway, but so she was working with the prototype. Kissy was working with the prototype in some way, so I don't know. That's the thing that surprised me because it surprises me because in terms of the lore, it doesn't really make sense, but maybe there's a reasoning for it, or maybe they won't explain it.
Yeah, because I do agree that it's weird how she showed us that, then Kissy just is there.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought it was like, oh, we're about to have to fight Kissy.
Or Poppy betrays us there, you know?
Ooh, what if like this is like a complete shot in the dark. What if when we get like to the bottom, what if we find out that it ended up being the person who killed Kissy was like Ali or something? But not because he was the prototype, but because he was working with Poppy. Like, what if he had seen the Hour of Joy tape and was like, "Oh wait, Kissy's not that great of a person," and then just kills her?
Oh,
That would make sense.
so Poppy is working with Ollie to get rid of Kissy.
No. Poppy was like worried, but no. What if it was like because we know the four people in like the anti-prototype group are us, Poppy, Kissy, and Ollie, technically, assuming Ollie's not the prototype, but just like sort of ignoring that theory entirely. He's working with us too. So what if it's possible that us and Poppy, like we saw the Hour of Joy VHS tape and then we just moved on? What if Ollie also saw the tape at that time in some way?
Oh, and
then
Ollie
saw what Kissy did and was like, oh, she's actually a traitor, and then killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, either Ollie was the one that did it, or he had someone else take care of Kissy there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the final question I have here, do you think that this chapter is the start of a new era of Poppy playtime, horror-wise, and a new mature route?
I think so. Like yeah, for sure. We're in like a new era where things are going to be scarier, and chapter 4 and 5 are probably going to be darker. And I the one thing I would say though is I feel like every chapter sort of has like a theme around it, like a sort of new gimmick. Chapter 1 was just like sort of the showcase. Chapter 2 was the game station, and I don't know, it was more like gameplay focused, I feel like. And chapter 3 was very much like, okay, we're ramping up the horror. So I'm curious to see if there will be like other things they're developing with chapter 4, because I feel like people honestly want more. Like especially if they're gonna have to wait a while, they're gonna want more than just more of chapter 3. They're gonna want like some new gameplay mechanics and stuff mixed in, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like a new era for now, but I feel like in a few months time, when they start teasing chapter 4, it's gonna be like a whole new thing in some way. I highly doubt they're just gonna be like, oh, in chapter 4 is just more of chapter 3, you know? It's either gonna be scarier, it's either gonna like expand upon that, or it's gonna be like an entirely different thing. So yeah, I don't know how long the chapter 3 era will last, but in terms of like its mark uh on what it did, I feel like the mature parts of it are going to be carried over into every other chapter. At least that seems to make the most sense. I don't know what they're going to do about chapter 1 and 2 though. I like what I wish they would do is like remaster those, combine them into one. because think about it. Every other chapter is probably going to be about 3 hours long on your first playthrough. It just makes sense. They're not going to go down or up on that. I hope not up, but they're definitely not going to go down on it. So it would just be weird to be like 30 minutes chapter 1, like an hour chapter 2, and then 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. I feel like I honestly feel like they should make like chapter 1 almost like what is it called, like before you read a book? There's like a mini chapter before chapter 1.
There's a word. The epilogue? No, it's not the epilogue.
No, it's like I think it's called a, is it a prologue?
Oh, prologue. Yeah, I believe that's what that is.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's a prologue, and honestly I think chapter 1 should just like not even be a chapter. And then just like chapter 2 could be chapter 1. I know that would be like impossible to brand, to just like turn everything back. But I don't know. I just feel like chapter 1 and 2 are so bad compared to chapter 3. Like realistically, they're really bad. If you've gone back and played them, you know what I mean. And I don't just mean in terms of like the quality, because I still think chapter 1's really scary, and I still think chapter 2 has a lot of good parts of it. But even just like the gameplay mechanics, they're so I remember one thing that drew me to Project Playtime so much when that first released is the grab packs are so fun to use. The mechanics are so like well refined in that version. Even though they were a little glitchy. If you ever played chapter 2, they're so buggy. Every time you shoot them, you have to wait for them to hit something before you can pull them back. There's like there's delays on them. The field of view net like doesn't update correctly. So it just feels like such a clunky gaming experience. And then you play chapter 3 and it's like there's so much more like intuitive, and everything feels it just feels so much more polished, and they have to implement that into the other chapters and do something to like put them on that next level. The UE5 is very noticeable. The better gameplay is very noticeable.
I feel like I think they're gonna use UE5 now. No doubt about it.
I do think one thing that's good is that chapter 3 was the most lore that we've gotten in anything, but chapter 2 and 1 pretty much they do a good job at like chapter 1 tells you everything, the basics. You don't know why the monsters exist or anything, you just know they do. And then chapter 2 goes into more depth, and chapter 3 like really dives deep. So like the lore and the way the games are built is fine. It's just they are so technical, like so far technically below chapter 3 that think about it from a new player. They're gonna play chapter 1 and be like, all right, that was fun. Chapter 2, that was fun. And chapter 3 is gonna be like, what the hell did I just play? Like it's gonna be a big difference.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even though yes, I think chapter 3 is starting a new era for everything beyond, I also imagine it's probably going to start an era where they start fixing everything before, because it needs it.
Oh yeah, I think they mentioned that they want to remaster chapter 2, because technically chapter 1 is already remastered on the PlayStation.
It's still not there though.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna update chapter 2 until Unreal Engine 5. I think, from what I remember, what
that
they
would
said.
take a while. It would really take a while.
But imagine chapter 2 with Engine 5.
I wish they would just like hard refresh those games. Like not now, honestly. I wish they would just do chapter 3 is a great game. They should make chapter 4 as good, chapter 5 as good, and then once it's done, just like fully reboot the other ones. Like change a lot of the major gameplay flaws with them, completely remake them. Like it would probably take a while. But they'd be able to reuse a ton of stuff. With how fast they did Chapter 3, I feel like it would only take a few months of doing it, and if they had already finished the other games, I think it would be doable. And then relaunch the entire game as one piece. Because I just don't think once we have all the chapters, I just don't think 1 and 2 are like fully ready to be released.
Yeah,
they're just not there.
So let's say they make only 5 chapters. So after chapter,
there might be only 4.
Maybe, I don't know. For me, 5 sounds more reasonable because it's such a even number, But
yeah,
if they do make it 5, yeah, I get what you're saying. Just make it into a whole actual game, like a whole AAA game, So it's like 8 hours long, maybe. But to fully reboot,
it'll probably be longer,
maybe. But yeah, I agree. So let's say they do finish at 5, they remaster or remake the entirety of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 from scratch to fit with the graphics and engine from Chapter 3 and above. Something like that.
Or maybe make them a little bit longer, or Chapter 1 a little bit longer, just something. Because that is like a big long-term problem. Or what if Chapter 4 smokes Chapter 3? I feel like they are they're maybe this won't age well at all, but because I said this with Chapter 2 in my Chapter 2 review video, like back before I even made Poppy videos. I said my biggest worry is I just can't see Chapter 4 being that much better than Chapter 3, and I worry it would plateau, which is fine, right? Because Chapter 3 was great, and if Chapter 4 is just as good but just like expands on those ideas a little bit, it'll still be a great chapter, and same with Chapter 5. But then that quality difference will really show. It'll really show. And you'll have a lot of people who will pick up the game and quit before they even play Chapter 3. Because it's already multiple hours of gameplay, so...
yeah.
I don't know. I think it needs some work in those regards. But that's a good thing, If you envision the project to look like Chapter 1, and then you're 3 chapters in, and it makes Chapter 1 look so bad that it's like you almost can't even, like, the difference is so much, you need to like completely remake that game. I guess that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, I see it as a positive thing. If I was a game dev, I'd be like, yeah, we're doing something better. Yeah, I would take it as a positive thing.
Yeah, I'll play Chapter 3 just to like have fun with the grab pack mechanics. Like, everyone agreed the grab pack mechanics in Chapter 1 and 2 were cool, but they're just so clunky. And Chapter 3, they hit the mark so hard that it's like they can make a game with Chapter 3's mechanics where, like, imagine they just had like like a 5-minute chase sequence, or like an arcade style game where it's just like randomly generated, where you have to jump over obstacle like a runner game where you jump over obstacles with the purple hand and just like swing around. The mechanics are so much fun. I would absolutely like eat that up.
I mean, Project kind of has that, but kind of.
Yeah, they kind of do, but it's not as developed because obviously it's a multiplayer game. And Chapter 2 tries to do that with like the PJ scene. The PJ scene would be so much fun in Chapter 3. It's a little frustrating in Chapter 2. It would be way more fun with just like the mechanics swap.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully with the new Roblox game, it's something like that.
I have no idea how the Roblox game's gonna work.
Because I think they already said Huggy is gonna be in it. From what we know right now, we don't know when the full game releases. They're gonna be adding more characters.
Is that all? I could have swore I saw like Kissy in the trailer. Again, it'll already be out by the time anybody's watching this, but I'm completely oblivious to it.
We also, me and a few partners also mentioned that we would love, if they were gonna do a spin-off game of Poppy, they should make a Hour of Joy game. So we're living or replaying in the event. So we're gonna have to be avoiding monsters.
That'd be a cool like multiplayer game, like in that setting. I wonder if that's kind of what this is gonna be. I don't know. Like, you could like, I mean, I know Project exists, but I'm honestly shocked they built a whole new narrative for Project of like the resource extraction specialist. Imagine how much cooler it would just be if like you could play as the monsters, or maybe an all game mode for Project. You play as the monsters, and you just chase people and try to kill them while they try to just escape. That would be sick. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, exactly, like an hour joint thing.
Yeah, that'd be a cool mini game idea, like
Yeah,
to add into it, because I know they're testing out like tag and stuff like that for that. So
I feel like they could do so much with the hour of joy. Like they could do so much stuff with it if they
it's
wanted to.
becoming iconic too.
Yeah, because who isn't curious to see how it exactly happened besides the VHS tape that we got? You know, who isn't
Hmm.
curious to see how it goes down? Especially like let's say like we know that they're making a movie and that could take years, but imagine seeing the live action hour of joy. You know,
That would be pretty cool.
that's something I
That'd
already
be
made a
pretty
meme about.
gory.
Exactly. I hope they don't hold back from the movie though. I hope they don't go down the road that the FNAF movie went down.
Yeah, just like being like a little bit too censored.
That or don't make it too much for the fans, kinda. Like I know the FNAF movie was good only for the fans mostly, but
Uh huh.
I feel like they focused too much on that they kind of took away from the horror, I would say, or the action.
Oh yeah, for sure. With the FNAF movie, first watching it, I actually watched it with a friend who is not a FNAF fan.
That was me and my sisters and my friend. That was the only
Yeah,
FNAF
I
fan
watched
there.
the movie, and it was so like it was so hyped to like see every moment finally become because I've also been covering every update with the movie up until its release. Um, so there like all of that and like the years of waiting and the map pack cameo and everything. I was so like geeked out while watching it, and it was amazing. But my friend did not enjoy it. Um, he was not a big fan of it, and it makes total sense because it's cool. It was novel, but as a movie, yeah, it
It's bad.
really like. I don't know. I just don't feel like I feel like it got a little bit too much hate because a lot of the silliness I think is done relatively well, and I think there's parts to the film that actually do translate the lore pretty well, but
They also changed a bit of
with
the
this,
lore
oh yeah, they changed a lot of the lore. Freaking Vanessa
for whatever
is
reason. I
is
don't know.
just to make it more concise. I'm sure they added Vanessa because it's the most recent FNAF game. But for the sequel, I know they're wanting to do the for the fans stuff, but like that novelty, I feel like will be worn off by the sequel.
No, I think Scott himself said like he reads our criticisms and they're gonna do better. Hopefully
Yeah,
they do more
actually,
stuff for like more action, please.
breaking update right before recording this, a like movie reporter insider did say that they had changed the script like officially now. It's been, I know it was a rumor for a while, but apparently they did change it to like turn it towards more horror and stuff like that, which is going to be so nice for that film just because like I said, the novelty for me when I go and watch the second movie, the whole oh shoot it's finally here thing is kind of going to be worn off because the next movie will be like will have had a way shorter production time. We've already had that like cool, oh, it's the animatronics thing, like all that cool stuff of just like, I enjoyed the movie just to see how sick the animatronics were like looked because they weren't CGI or anything.
Oh, they look so
But
nice in person. Oh,
you've seen them, yeah?
remember last year
Yeah, no,
we
I
talked about
remember.
it. Like
Hmm.
even before we knew each other, we talked about it.
I wonder where they are right now, but
I think there's filming in UK, or somewhere in the UK.
I have no idea. They're so cool though. I love them, and um, that's cool, and it will still be cool in the second movie, but it just won't be the same. I do hope they focus more on the story, especially since there was a lot of foreshadowing at the end of the first movie. So,
Oh,
it
definitely.
seems like it seems like I know critics or people who aren't FNAF fans won't like to hear it, but it seems like they are building up to something a lot better with the second film. Um, which is good. It's not going to be nearly as commercially successful, no matter how good it is, honestly. Because there's so much novelty behind the last one that
Hmm.
that really propelled it. The movie could have been the worst thing ever, and it honestly it wasn't. It wasn't the worst thing ever, and I don't think it was. I don't think so. Scott's not a great writer, but
But as a like a day one fan of FNAF, I've been here since 2014, since the first game came out.
same. Yeah.
I can say that the movie was not that great, but for the fans, it was great. You know, but as a movie itself, it kind of sucked, to be honest.
I don't think it was as bad as it could have been, considering it was written by a but like and sort of funded by Scott, who isn't a movie writer.
Yeah, I kind of had high hopes for the movie because I knew Scott was behind it, and Scott is very picky and very passionate about this stuff, about his creations. So that's why I had
Yeah.
high hopes for this film.
Uh-huh.
And even my friend noticed, like he saw me criticize it and say some stuff that was bad and everything, and he said to me one time, he was like, after all these years of you being so hyped for the movie, now you're saying it's bad. I'm like, it kind of, I mean, it does a little, it is a little bit, but like, still, I'm just glad that it's out. It's not the greatest thing ever, but at least it's out.
Yeah, I don't know. There were some choices like I said, having Scott write it. I know he wanted to, but he just naturally is movie writing is like a full-blown career, and also the director, I believe, is makes documentaries, not movies.
Yeah, was it the director first, Christopher Columbus or something? But he left.
Yeah. They changed it a couple times, but Emma Tammy ended up making it. And she, I believe, at least is most well known for documentaries. So, I don't know. That's another choice that I was like, it just seems weird. Because the project was so massive, one of the biggest movies of last year, and at its, you somewhat have to admire the fact that it was one of the top selling films. It's the biggest Blumhouse movie ever, and at its core, two of I think the three writers were a video game developer, an indie video game developer, and the director who makes documentaries. I believe. I could be wrong about that, but so I'm actually fine with how that film came out, just because
Yeah.
I don't think it was the most horrific thing that we could have gotten, and as as a fan, I still enjoyed a lot of it.
Yes, me too.
I enjoyed a lot
it.
of the
I have the
references.
movie bought. I even have the shirt. I have everything. I even
Oh,
bought
really?
I even bought a 3D printed Carl cupcake a few days ago.
Oh, I actually saw that on you posted on Twitter.
Yeah, and like an actual accurate one. I even have the plushie, like the FNAF movie Carl plushie from Funko.
Mhm.
I have that one too.
I just have the poster because even though I didn't think the movie was like the most phenomenal thing, just like the lead up to it and the how crazy it is, and also what it means honestly for like video game movies and in like indie horror studios. A lot of people in that industry who probably wrote off this movie like saw the money and were probably like, oh, now I'm more interested. Even with Poppy, I feel like they're gonna be taken a little bit more seriously because of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're working on a Poppy movie too.
I don't know how I feel about a Poppy movie. I don't know. I've been very public about saying that I'm just not very. I don't know. I don't feel like it would be the greatest idea in the world, because they would need tens of millions of dollars to even have the budget to make it good. And then where are they going to get all the writers, and how are they going to make the writers like stay true to the film? That's definitely one of the biggest problems, was like with the FNAF movie, was just Scott wrote it. He's not a movie writer, so he's inherently not going to be as good as a movie writer. But you give it to a movie writer, and they're going to turn it into like just like they're going to distance it from the source material so far that nobody's going to end up enjoying it. And that happens a lot with video game movies, where they either try too hard to be the source material, or they just completely run away from
Besides
it.
the Sonic movies did it right.
I actually haven't seen the the Sonic movies. I don't watch movies, honestly.
I'm
I don't
actually in
really.
the second one.
You're in the second one.
Sure.
Sure, buddy.
Sure. I can imagine like you saying all this stuff about the Poppy movie. They invite us to go down there to the set. Okay, never mind. Best pick movie ever. Completely switch your mindset about it.
Well, I mean,
That's something I've been mentioning too. You know about how us partners, or it would be cool for us partners to have a cameo in the movie. You know,
yeah, it would be kind of cool.
I'll fly down there. Mob, if you're watching this, I'll fly down there.
I am here. I'm
Yeah,
in St. Louis. That's where the studio is. Um, but what was I gonna say about the movie? I'm like completely losing my train of thought.
I think Zach said it's going to be good. Zach says it's going to be a good
Yeah,
one.
but it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, but if he's confident, you know,
There's
he
no
says it's gonna be
script.
good.
I'm sure. Actually, he did say. I do find it weird that he said he was meeting with.
Studios, multiple ones, right?
Yeah, that. I mean, obviously that means they're still pitching it. But I was like, okay, they're not even gonna pitch this until we have chapter 5 at the latest. So it's interesting that they're doing that. I know it's going to just be like in universe, and it's not going to be a retelling at all, which I think is fine. Um,
To be honest, I think if they can do one of the FNAF movie based off the first game, I feel like they can do
mhm.
something similar with the Poppy universe. You know, like not even FNAF is done, right? And they still made a movie anyway, but only covering the first game. To be fair,
Here's what they need to do. Here's my Poppy Playtime movie script that would be awesome.
Hour of Joy. That's it.
What? What'd you say?
Like Hour of Joy. That's it.
No. Well, actually, yes. What I would do is I would say keep the Poppy Playtime game in its own timeline or its own thing, but what you need to do is like have a movie talk about one of the employees inside of Playtime Co. and like it could even be like Rowan Stoll or something. One of the employees who started to like slowly discover what was going on. And then the entire movie could be about like uncovering what they're doing behind the scenes, and then how they because we've seen like Boxy Boo was created to literally murder people who were
Like
finding out their
yeah, who
secrets.
discovered?
So like to learn more about that, and like learn more about the actual factory would be so sick. And then like the entire movie would be based around like the building up tension between them figuring out more and also having the higher ups discover what's going on. And then the movie could just end with all this tension and having the hour of joy happen. I
Oh,
think
I
I
got
think
you. I
that'd be
got
a
you. I
kind of
got
cool
you.
script.
Yeah, it's kind of like a documentary, but not really. But this is just slowly discovering the secrets, and then at the end is the hour of joy. Yeah.
That I feel like that would be the best way to explain the lore of the game without you don't I don't feel like you need like a Vanessa to come in and tell you
Oh, God, no, please
why.
no.
Yeah, to tell you everything that happened. I think it would be so much cooler. Like, there was I don't watch many movies, but there was one movie called. Have you ever seen the movie called It Comes at Night?
I heard about
Um,
it.
it was a movie that it got like a ton of hate because it was a horror movie that like wasn't really scary, but it's all about like it's all about people living in a home where there's like a disease coming around and killing people. They don't tell you anything about it, and the title makes no sense at first, but throughout the entire film it starts to explain itself, and all of the motives from the beginning start to explain themselves. I wish they would do that with yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other movies like that. I wish they would do like that approach with a Poppy movie or a Five Nights at Freddy's movie where like
Yeah,
uh
something is happening, but we don't know exactly yet. So it's still like a
yeah, because
mystery.
that's how the games got popular in the first place with Five Nights at Freddy's and Poppy Playtime. Like we didn't know what happened, and then over time it started to reveal themselves. I think the best way to replicate that into like a 2 hour movie would to be like one person's personal experience. Like if Mike had discovered, because I know they're changing up the script. Like if Mike had slowly discovered what was going on inside of the first location instead of having Vanessa sort of explain it, or with the Poppy movie, if you were to have like an employee who they've already established like those characters that there's employees that would like slowly discover things. That'd be a really cool side
Yeah.
project. That's something. It can't. The Poppy movie can work. I'm just worried it would be like oh Huggy Wuggy, you know, like
Yeah.
Huggy Wuggy
Huggy
who
Wuggy.
eats
Ooh,
people.
kids love Huggy Wuggy. Put him in the film.
Yeah, yeah. That's my worry.
That sounds like a really good script, to be honest. Just building the actual revealing bits of the whole thing, not just flat out just showing the monsters immediately, but discovering everything that happened down there.
Yeah, like not even knowing they're monsters at first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like Marcus Brickley didn't know the monsters existed until he just saw PJ Puggabill in the cafeteria, and it freaked him out.
Mm-hmm. See, that would be awesome.
If they can't do that for the movie, I'd like to see more about that in the games, because that's the part that's the most interesting to me.
That or like maybe VHS tapes, like documentaries.
That'd be cool too, because I know the first Poppy book is going to be like in theme. It's an orientation notebook, so that would be sick.
Not sure when that's coming out. Things coming out in May.
It's
no?
coming out in May, early May. Don't books usually end up releasing early though?
Not sure about books.
I feel like I every time there's a FNAF book, I always see like tweets from like, oh, the book leaked early, or you can just find it in your stores a few days early or whatever. I feel like like whenever they're sending it out to like libraries and stuff, and this happens whenever like I remember when the Nintendo Switch released or whatever, and I think like the Xbox and PlayStation, like people would just take them as they were shipping them out and got them early. I feel like that happens with anything that's like shipped, and I always see FNAF books getting leaked early, or like parts of them.
I never see that, surprisingly.
Really? I don't know. I feel like I see it all the time. I've seen Johnny Blocks. He's mentioned at least once or twice like going to his local bookstore, and I've seen others say it too, where they just like find books like a day or so early and they just put them out early.
Oh.
So that could happen with the Poppy book, which would be interesting because like obviously I'm gonna want to make a video about it. So I wonder what the best way to get it early is. I don't know.
Maybe Target.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But we'll see. We'll see if they actually do release it in stores. I don't think it's gonna be like an Amazon exclusive or anything.
No. It won't. And I don't really want to pre-order it. I'm a bit worried about pre-ordering it because then like there's a chance I could get it early in stores and then I'll have like an extra book, or there's a chance like I don't know, like shipping a book that it's a pretty cheap book, so like shipping a freaking book is also like it costs a lot of money. So I don't know about pre-ordering. Well, because you can't just add it to cart and like buy other things. It costs like half the price of the actual book just to ship it. So it's like I might as well just go to the store.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's like the same price or half, like you said, or free. Most of the time it's free though.
I'm saying this as an American because like imagine if you're in like Australia, or imagine if you're in like Hawaii. Hawaii's like super expensive if they ship there. A lot of places don't.
It's weird. Because I know some stuff go to Target early, especially mine.
Oh really? Well,
I got a few things early, I believe. I remember getting the like the Mario movie figures that were not out technically, but I did order to get picked up, and I got it like a day or 2 days early, which is pretty cool. It's like they went against their own system. Like I remember when I first asked the lady if they're out yet, and she said like no, they're not out yet. You have to wait until next week. The next day, I checked on the website and they said they're already in stock, and I just went to go pick it up. I'm like, bro, you guys just broke your own system.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really get merch that much. I've seen your room, Nized. I have, in terms of all the merch that I have some of like I have the full FNAF Balloon Circus Funko set. I have a couple other FNAF figures. I have a stuffed animal from a Six Flags. I have a Chica U2s from a sponsor.
Notice how he doesn't say anything about Poppy yet.
Oh no, those are the FNAF ones, and then I have Catnap. a bootleg Kissy Missy, which apparently you're not supposed to have. And then I have a Nab Nab from Garden of Bandman. I got it as a gift.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you like willingly buy it yourself?
No, I did not. It was from like some random place on Amazon. I don't know if they sell. If Garden of Banban doesn't sell their own plushies yet, what do they do? Like, people definitely buy those.
There's so much stuff, like so much Poppy stuff, like official collaborations. Not sure if you've seen them, like the
I've seen that.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how they can. Well, it makes sense that they can collaborate with other studios or other companies to make them, and not themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I just find it kind of funny how other companies can make merch of like the collaborators' games. I still have to burn and destroy my bootleg Huggy for the 52,000 sub special video.
Oh, is that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm not sure you saw the tweet. I have it right here. I have to destroy this guy when I can.
Oh no!
I even told my dad like one day I'm gonna need the backyard. I have to destroy this bootleg Huggy for a video.
I could never destroy my Kissy Missy. Have you ever been to a mall? Is that like,
That's where I got it.
dude? Modern malls have the weirdest things.
If you think that's bad, you should go down to downtown LA. There's so much bad stuff there.
Well, no, okay. In summer of 2022, I had gone to Florida, and there was like a like one of those outdoor malls with those kiosks, and there were some Huggy Wuggies and everything. But I went to a local mall, this year, and every single kiosk was filled with like just like fidget spinners and like random fidget toys, but mostly Huggy Wuggies of all different colors and sizes.
Yep.
Mommy long legs, baby long legs, daddy long legs, like blocky daddy long legs. I saw. There was like random ones that didn't exist that they just made up, or I think they were meant to be like there was like warped versions of different characters. I can't wait to go back once the Smiling Critters bootlegs come in, but
I also saw when I went to Universal Studios outside, they had they had those little stands outside, and this one stand had a freaking a Project Playtime Boxy Boo skin plush of the girl version.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, they're already making Project
cool.
bootlegs. Yeah, it's cool, but like that quickly? This was like back last year or 2 years ago.
Dude, there was more Garden of Banban merch almost. There was so many plushies of every character. There was like Garden of Banban slippers. I don't know why.
Oh god.
And then those stupid flowers, the Poppy Playtime flowers.
I've seen those.
The plants. They released them. There were so many bootlegs of them. And once Chapter 2 released, they actually released official ones, but they don't even exist anymore. I don't know why they exist.
I remember seeing the old website, the old Play Store. Oh god.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is gone. Like some of them shirts are gone. I have one shirt that they don't sell anymore.
Because some of it was just weird. Some of the things that they sold were like related to like the bootleg stuff, like the plants. It's just they're so weird. It makes sense why they got rid of them because like the shop's much more clean now. It's mostly just like there's not too many shirts, and yeah, the most of the stuffed animals are actually pretty decent. So
yeah, and the final question I have here. When is our boxing match gonna happen?
Our boxing match? Do you want that to happen?
I mean, give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want. I meant for like your own physical safety.
Oh, I don't know.
Listen, Nized, and all of Nized viewers, let's all be honest here. Who would win? In the comments below, again, who would win? Me, Epic, Sigma, Sheep, or Nized?
To be honest, height doesn't matter in fights.
You're also like, you're like 5 feet. You're like freaking 2 feet tall. I'm just insulting you.
It's funny how you get shorter and shorter every time in the main server. people just say like, "Aren't you like what foot tall now?" And before it was like 3 feet
Yeah,
tall.
every time I talk in the Poppy Playtime server, this is something no one in the YouTube community ever mentions unless it's in a live stream. So I'm glad I'm bringing this up now. But anytime I talk in that server, for whatever reason, it's just a running gag to call me short, and I don't know why. Luckily it hasn't reached YouTube yet, so we're gonna hope this gets no views.
Let's go to your channel. Comment down below.
No, don't comment down below.
Let's see. Just mutes me from your channel.
Yeah, easy mute. Goodbye, Nized.
I think I mentioned it on your stream one time. And people call
No,
me.
whenever I live stream, people call me short. I don't know why.
See, only during live streams. Come on.
Well, yeah, because most of those people are like from the Discord and everything. Most of the people watching. So let's not make that a thing. I'm not short.
I mean, almost every partner has a thing. So your thing is being short. Mine is the Josh meme.
Why does my thing have to be like bad? Why can't it be like cool?
Because there's nothing cool.
Why can't it be like? Why can't it be like? Oh, that's the sweet sheep guy or the best Poppy theorist guy. Why is that to be the short guy? When I'm not short, you just make it up.
No, because it's not true. It's not as funny.
All right.
It's not as funny. It has to be.
Oh, it's not as funny.
It has to be funny.
It has to be funny. Yeah, no, it has to be a way to make fun of me.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me cry.
So, for example, Josh, I'm surprised that meme still caught on.
It does not catch on. That is a dead meme.
No, like even a few days ago, the partners brought it up. Remember when we were talking about the Roblox thing?
No.
No, Tyler said something like that. He said like, "Watch Nized build like a whole Josh."
Oh yeah, he did say that.
See,
that is something you do.
Today. The troll map is coming soon. Don't worry.
Oh no.
Someone already made a joke saying like they're gonna make a map. It's gonna be called the Demise of Nized.
That should become a thing. Maybe I need to like. I wonder if I don't know what I was gonna say. I want to make like a big. I would like to make like a super cool map, just like one map, and then like if I know private matches are gonna be in that thing. I don't know how they're gonna work because it's Roblox, but it would be so sick to just like make my own map and then like live stream and have other people like have like viewers playing it. More games need systems like that. Fall Guys is the only game I've ever seen that has a system like that where you can just like play with viewers because they have like 60 players, and you give out a code.
The same with Fortnite a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, Project Playtime, I'll do it sometimes, but I don't intend on it. People just end up joining me. But it'd be cool if with the Roblox game, I could like make my own map and then have play it on stream and then see if other people play it. I don't know. That'd be cool. It'll be, like I said, it'll be out by the time this releases. So.
Yeah, something like a Super Mario thing, like a Super Mario Maker thing, so we can create our maps. And
yeah,
they can put in the code and try it out.
I don't know how fleshed out the system will be though, just with how
Roblox,
suddenly it's releasing. Huh?
It's Roblox, so there's bound to be some bugs and everything.
Yeah, but still, I'm excited personally.
All right, that's pretty much all the questions I had here.
All right, well, yeah, I don't have too much more to say about chapter 3 other than I think most people know it was like a really good chapter. It was fun. It was scary. I don't know. I'm not really. I'm. What would you say like as an overall your like thoughts and like ratings are for the chapter and like expectations? I guess I don't know.
Definitely an improvement on the first 2 chapters and Project Playtime. I would say the chapter overall it's an 8 out of 10 or maybe 8.5. There are some little things here and there that kind of like could have been made better, could have been a lot shorter.
Yeah,
definitely, but you know, no game is perfect, so obviously there's
I'd say it's around there.
Yeah, but overall it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I hope they continue making great chapters. Especially seeing how everybody reacted to this one. Even non-Poppy Playtime fans reacted to this chapter being really good. So that's saying something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it implies it's reaching a bigger audience, which if you're in the community, it is generally a good thing. So, I mean, I love to see it. I love like watching people's review. I don't like watching reviews of the game from Poppy Playtime content creators or anything. I specifically watch like reviews from people who just don't play the game because it's interesting to see what they have to say. And a lot of them liked it. I haven't seen that much negativity towards it outside of people that just like for the most part, most people who didn't like the game either just like aren't interested in the franchise or don't want to support the devs. And that's all cool, but in terms of people who played the game after liking or like being interested in the concept, it seemed like just about everybody had good things to say about it. Which
Yeah,
is great
that's
news.
great.
I wonder what it's I've never looked, but I wonder at what the Steam reviews of this chapter are.
I was gonna make a video about that actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That'd be a sick video. I watched your Project Playtime one.
I had so much fun making that one.
I did not realize how weird the Steam reviews are. Everyone go watch that video after this one.
It's interesting.
there were some weird things said in there. There was
So
recipes.
Yeah, there's so much stuff I cut out too. Don't worry, there's so much stuff I cut out.
There was so many references to people being like romantically attracted to the characters. I don't know, man. And it gets weirder when like the lore finally reveals itself, and it's like, probably shouldn't be saying those types of things. I guess.
I don't know. It's gonna be fun while reading the chapter 3 reviews. Oh god,
That's
gonna be funny, though.
Yeah, that will be a sick video.
Yeah, I'll be definitely be working on that one.
Yeah, but not too much more to say. I very much agree with you. The chapter was a big step up, and we also talked about a lot of like future stuff. Actually, just sitting here talking about it made me realize that there is actually like a ton coming down the pipeline with the developers. I know,
including me.
They're wanting to, huh? What'd you say?
Nothing.
What did you say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Wait, what? What?
I didn't say anything.
I'm confused. Okay.
You have to watch back.
Sure. I can't watch back the video. I'm recording my audio only. Okay. Well, that's great. Anyway, there's a ton of stuff coming pretty soon, which makes me hyped. I know the developers have mentioned wanting to work on non-Poppy stuff. So to be honest, I don't think Mob Entertainment's going to be a Poppy Playtime thing forever. But I'm enjoying it while it's going on. It's not gonna. I feel like within the next few years they're gonna start finally because they've been working on other non-Poppy things for forever. I think sooner or later they're gonna start releasing new stuff, new horror games. I don't know if they'll be. I thought they mentioned horror games. I don't know if they'll be like mascot horror games. But they're a really creative studio. I've noticed. So to be honest, even though I probably wouldn't be that interested in like their other like TV shows or whatever that they've teased before, if they make another horror game, I'd definitely be super interested. So that'll be that. There's more like non-Poppy stuff coming in the future too, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the future of both Poppy Playtime and Mob as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially seeing all the animation reels, all the behind the scenes, you can tell that they really want to create something bigger and keep on doing it.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't wait. It'll be fun.
All right, Sheep. So I just want to thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blast nerding about chapter 3. If you didn't know, that's that's what I do all day. But yeah, it was fun to talk to you, Nized. I know you're my biggest fan.
I don't like short people.
What? How? We're not bringing this back to life. I'm not short.
It'll be a thing. That's part of your tombstone now.
Sure, buddy. You were saying you wanted to play me in Project Playtime, by the way. Even though we can't do lobbies, there's the Roblox game. So, I don't even know how that game's gonna work. I don't know.
It's not PvP.
I think
it's PvE.
Oh, okay. Right, well, you live another day, buddy.
We'll see if Project Playtime comes back.
Yeah.
If not, is it be a 1v1 on Call of Duty, alright?
On Call of Duty. Why Call of Duty?
Because I'm the best at sniping on there. Alright.
Well, you're trash. But like and subscribe to Nized for more super cool content. Is that a good plug?
That's not what I paid you for. So say something better.
You didn't pay me at all. I'll be taking my $1,000 an hour check.
No. And by the way, I'm still processing your $100 fee for Roblox. Alright.
No thanks. I ain't paying.
But we'll see. We'll see if we meet up in LA, alright?
All right, buddy. One day I will be in LA and I'll get to see you and I'll get to confront you.
We'll see. We'll see.